Oh, that's nice. Fucking relaxing me.
So Diamond Rings.
Yeah. So Diamond Rings.
Yeah, so it's Diamond Rings.
Where does that come from?
Diamond Rings. Why do we start?
Why have we kicked the EP off with that track?
This is a very good question. I think I know the answer to it, and I'd be interested to know your take on it. But I'm wondering if I just tell you the answer.
Take 3.
Take 3.
I want to fuck you up in editing.
You won't need to help fuck me up in editing. That happens automatically when I edit.
That's it.
Yeah, Diamond Rings is a beast. And the reason it's a beast, I think...
It's like 5 songs in one.
There's a bit of that going on.
Yeah.
But I think the reason it's a beast is because it's just that good old creative thing that happened on that track, which was, you and I discussed, getting together and just blatting out something hard and fast and kind of loud. That was basically the premise of Flower of Zeus before we even tagged it or labelled it up as Flower of Zeus.
It was something that both, I think, Flower of Zeus as well was something that both of us wanted to do.
Yeah.
But didn't have the outlet before because we couldn't find that like-minded person who would want to give that a try.
We didn't.
And who had the skills. Let's fucking pat ourselves on the back.
Why not?
Had the skills.
Had the skills. It was a while ago when we started it. I think the thing was, it obviously, we spoke about this the other time, it came off the back of us doing a project for our good friend Sophie.
Yes.
Amazing. And that was the little heavy metal EP that she kind of commissioned us for, to work in line with her little art project she was doing. Well, not a little art project, it was a wonderful art project. She was working with her friend, who I still can't remember her name. It was a co-artist, and they were doing a installation for that gallery in Norway, which I still can't remember the name of it. She approached me and said, look, we need to create a 4-track thrash metal EP, which you, I, and Johnny got involved in. Because we were working at a time in our old band, I Own Kings. Mm-hmm. And we
check out our MySpace.
MySpace is still available.
Justin Timberlake in the heart.
And we blatted that out, and it was really good fun. It was a dream just to knock out a quick and easy.
Some of the best recording I think any of us have ever done.
Well, we were certainly in an agile state of our lives at that time, and we were doing a thrash metal EP, and it came out really good. There was that lack of self-consciousness about it because we were just chucking the mics on, and just getting in the room and actually knocking it out, and that was at the studio in Fulham. And writing
as we went, which
and we were doing that.
Really well. That's the kind of way we do things usually, anyway.
Well, I suppose this is it. If anything, excuse me. That's what I'm alluding to. That kind of set the template for the framework of Flower of Zeus. Yeah. So off the back of that project and a bit of space, you and I just had that discussion about it'd be good to get in the studio and actually do something loud, hard, fast, and heavy. Yeah. And I suppose it was kind of like the thrash metal thing was very specifically a thrash metal thing. And so it had to take on the tone of a thrash metal thing, but we thought, let's not make it so niche. Let's just make it a big rock thing. Yeah. And it was
borderline like jokey in a way, but I don't think it was jokey. It was more like we were just hitting some cliches, and I think that's why those recordings are really fun.
Yeah, and I think that's probably why what happened when we went in the studio, because essentially the Diamond Rings EP was a elongated studio session, wasn't it? And then we both came in. You were set up in the live room, and I was set up in the control room, and then we were just blatting out some ideas, and then. We kind of just were talking through ideas as we were going, right? And then we were kind of showing off with the old kind of, with everything, and kind of, I seem to remember a lot of laughing, and when the laughing, when one of us made each other laugh with what we were doing, we
Yeah.
generally kind of go, okay, that stays.
Yeah, exploit it. Yeah.
And that was the vibe. And I think, particularly with Diamond Rings, that kind of the reason I think, and I might be wrong about this if you recall it differently, the reason I think it was number one on the EP was because I think it was just the first track I
think you're right there.
It was the first idea we just kind of knocked out together after we were set up in the studio, and then it almost set the attitude for what the project became and what Flower of Zeus became. Obviously, we hadn't labelled the project at that point, had we? So we were just doing this thing. But Diamond Rings had speed for us. I know people can play fast, but I mean for us that's pretty breakneck speed. So it had that kind of it had the speed about it. It had the kind of pushy classic rock ACD like synchronized riff and kind of the drums and the guitar, the rhythm doing the same thing. So those pushes in Diamond Rings was the thing that kind of.
I think the one thing that surprised me when we started doing that as well is just how big we could make just you and I sound.
Yes.
And I think that was like quite rewarding. That it was just me and you, and it was so simple in that there wasn't another element to deal with.
No, I don't exactly. I don't think when you and I kind of were in the room together, we didn't think we were doing anything other than writing at that stage. Like I know we had intentions to have other people come in. So
did Diamond Rings have Leo on it?
It did eventually.
Yeah.
So Leo Smee, who is currently like the general of Chrome Hoof.
Yeah.
Fantastic band, ex Cathedral bass player, and fucking amazing landscape gardener.
Ex-Flower of Zeus bass player.
Ex-Flower of Zeus bass player. Oh, I suppose what's a better title for him? He's kind of like a ghost. He's a ghost bass player, right?
Yeah,
so he kind of comes in and helps out.
He haunts us in the studio.
He does.
With his fucking skills. That's what he does.
He just walks around with a fucking bedsheet on.
Shit.
It's a really tired joke.
Yeah.
But he's I always had him in mind to come in because that was his thing. He has that energy about his playing.
Yeah.
So when we were in the studio together, we were just kind of doing a writing session.
Yeah.
And so there's kind of pushes and that kind of that hook on Diamond Rings, the da na 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 ba 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 ba.
Yeah.
When we were just kind of synchronizing that, I think the arrangement was just coming off having that elongated as a 8 bar thing, and then the second half of it being a 4 bar thing.
Where's the one? Yeah. No, I remember.
Yeah.
And I think the thing, like walking through that track, for me, Diamond Rings is absolutely what Zeus is about. I think it's quintessential. Yeah, that's the word. Yeah.
I feel the same.
What was really special for me, I think, as well, is just that the middle part of it where I take on that persona. Like the persona for me, like really resonated, and I was like, fuck. This feels a bit...
What is it? What is it for you?
So, well, for me, it's that ex-Vietnam war veteran who's a little bit tapped because he's fucking seen some shit, man. And I can resonate with that, apart from the war and the killing people. But being tapped a little bit.
Thing down.
Yeah, but no, for some reason, I was like, shit, like the lyrics, absolutely. I think about those every time I sing it and think about flesh piercing turn by turn, for example.
Yeah, you literally have flashbacks.
I do have flashbacks to, I think when you've lied so much when you're singing and you believe
kind of believe it. Yeah, I can
take myself back.
I can see it. I see the PTSD on your face.
Yeah, you should.
During that middle section.
You should. I should wipe it off at some point.
Yeah, but I feel we need to speak to HR about it. I mean, it worries me.
But that for me, like every time it gets to that section, I've always wanted to be at the front of the stage singing. I can't do that. Well, maybe one day, but I'm always buying a drum kit. So for me, I don't know, that's just, I can always perform that well. And I will, no matter whether in just you and I, with Roland, with Dali, whoever it is, maybe on a stage in front of like 3 people, I'll perform it the same way.
It is a character performance, isn't it? I mean,
Yeah.
I have a similar vibe with the bit that I do. So obviously the thing with Diamond Rings is it's like I suppose it's like a mini 3-act track,
Yeah,
right?
it is. Yeah.
So,
yeah.
but
It's a medley.
I
I think they call it a medley.
a medley. Quite another
Shit,
bit.
it probably is in a way. It's 3 ideas.
I suppose
sure.
so. Well, I suppose the thing about it is like you've essentially got this first character in scene. You have that flip and switch in the middle, and you take that on, which kind of denotes that as well. And then you have a return back to the first, but then the resolving thing at the end, which is just carnage, or should be carnage. But I suppose that's the thing when you like when you were saying it's quintessentially Flower of Zeus. I think Flower of Zeus, as we've gone on and developed more material, and Dali and Roland and the other guys and Leo, whenever the other band members have been jumping in, we get more opportunity to colour what the colour the world of Flower of Zeus. But that did set a template for kind of bravado, exuberance, and attitude. And it was kind of present there, because I remember even when we were knocking out the lyrics, just back in the control room, having got the form of the track.
Yeah,
they came pretty easy. I suppose like when I started writing the lyrics for the first section, that character. I mean, it's got my favourite line of any song that I've been involved in writing. Like, and that is diamond rings and guitar strings. I want to bounce like a player. Bless my soul, baby's out of control. I see her jiggling the Slayer. I will never. I mean,
you've reached the pinnacle.
Yeah,
like in the first. I think I genuinely was worried that might be like, oh shit, we've just done it. Yeah. Fuck.
Well, look.
I'm not like blowing my own trumpet here because I haven't got it, but I'll get it at some point. But I honestly thought at that point, this is why I can play the drums. It's true though, because it's fucking sick.
It was nice because it was that exercise of writing without self-consciousness. We kind of went in there, we were twatting it out together, and when we were making each other giggle, it was kind of like, okay, that's what we're doing.
Yeah, which
was fun. And then when we were kind of like, when we started knocking out lyrics, when when that line came up, and I very much have no ownership over that line. That was like beamed in somewhere, and it was on the piece of paper. Like, we had the good sense to fucking recognize it was a great line. I still to this day feel that line's a fucking miracle. It makes me smile when I sing it. And I just love the fact that we got not only the lyric. Not only that we got Slayer mentioned in that song, which is fucking amazing. But the fact that I can
jiggling as well.
I see her jiggling the Slayer.
I know.
Like, it's just beautiful. And again, I'm not blowing smoke up my own ass. Like, it's a complete fucking accident how it happened. I look at something and I have no idea why it's like that, and that is beautiful.
Yeah,
I love it.
It's a really strong, brilliant memory.
And so I suppose that the whole situation there kind of dictated the world we were in that song, and that world was kind of, I suppose in my mind, I had this kind of idea of mean streets. I was looking. Can you recall? Like, like when, because they're all young, and that Robert De Niro character is kind of like a bit silly and exuberant, and but also, he's a hot mess waiting to happen, and he's a bit unhinged. So that was the whole kind of character trope that found its way into like informing the rest of the lyrics. But it was literally that opening line that kind of set the spirit out of what was going on with that. And I suppose once that started happening, it just became a scene. So I think we were in a bar, and so when we done the switch up idea, it was because musically the switch up was happening, and that was cool. And it was kind of like, well, this needs a new character. So the whole idea of you taking on the lyric.
And that's when that switch really works.
And then, so the idea of you taking on the vocal in that section just made sense anyway. It was kind of like, there's a switch up in tone, there's a switch up in character. So actually, why don't you take the vocal here? And then again, we knocked the lyrics out quickly. I remember you coming into, I can't remember if that was the
Johnny
first
was
section.
there as well.
No, he wasn't.
Was he not?
No, he wasn't. It was just us two in the room, because I remember you coming in. I think we were tracking the drums for real.
Right. Okay.
And then you came in the room and it was like, okay, let's knock some lyrics out of this. And then we literally had a piece of paper.
Right.
And then I think the Vietnam War veteran.
I mean, that really helped because fill this bowl of vile from where thy once did smile. I mean, it's like
it's poetic.
It's fucking good. It's like that's why I'm still like leave that at the top of the pinnacle and let's always strive to do it. But what I've and what I've always taken from that as well is that singing together. That's the thing that I think now we can make even stronger with, because we've gone a little bit. In my head, I'm thinking Beastie Boys went with some of the newer tracks, which people are still yet to hear. I think neither of us have got like Axl Rose voice, but I think like together, maybe
Axl Rose.
Maybe Duff. I don't know.
Together.
Yeah, that's it. Together.
It's that first drummer that got sacked from Guns N' Roses.
Oh yeah, what was? Oh, Steven Adler. Yeah.
Snap.
Yeah, fuck, he had a thing. Yeah,
it was called a heroin problem. Is that the thing?
There's time yet. We can get one.
So, Diamond Rings.
Yeah.
Wonderful track. Possibly still one of my favorites, and it's definitely a favorite to play. It makes me happy when we play it, and I think it's also maybe set the prototype for what Flower Zeus was, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
sweet.
I think so. What's next on the EP? Is it Glad I'm Dead?
Oh, Glad I'm Dead. You really like Glad I'm Dead, don't you?
I fucking love that.
You've been talking about it a lot recently.
No, I've watched those videos now a couple of times.
Which
probably
ones?
Around 30,000, something like that.
I thought the play count was pretty good.
And
which videos are you talking about?
I think Glad I'm Dead just works really well as a band.
Yeah.
Like a 4-piece.
Yeah.
Whereas Diamond Rings, that's got...
I mean, for those who are watching and don't know, like Greg and I had to play as a 2-piece for a little while, just because we couldn't convince anyone in the fucking world to join the band, and that was quite a few years ago. So it's nice that we've kind of relaunched the band with Dali and Roland on board now. We're kind of performing as intended, as recorded, as a classic rock 4-piece.
Yeah, absolutely. And much stronger for it.
Yeah.
Much stronger. And it's good because actually bringing those guys on board has brought back the smiles and the fucking this is good. Even though we've only managed to play together, well, actually once. But, bringing Dali on or bringing Roland, and when we had them separately in rehearsals before CVID, the smiles came back. It was like, oh shit, this is really fun.
It's good. I know what you mean. I think there's a power to Glad I'm Dead when there's more people playing it, and I think it's because there's it's not that it's
a lot of overdubs on the record.
Was there? I don't know. I thought it was in one.
Yeah, no, I think it was in 100 and something takes. No, I think actually no. It was only one take, I'd imagine. Because why would we have done more? We had chicken to eat at that point. But
I was not vegetarian at that point.
Yeah, I know.
Technically, I'm pescatarian before anyone fucking writes us an email.
We've got to have an email address for that. But
it's pescatarian@flowerzeus.com.
Yeah, that is. No, I think...
is that still rolling? My
Yeah,
cool.
Still rolling. Yeah.
No, but the thing about Glad I'm Dead that sounds cool in the room with us four at the moment, and is Glad I'm Dead's got that classic AC/DC kind of like da 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 da. You know, that's the kind of roots, fourths, and the other one, the D.
Yeah.
But like it's just got that classic kind of rock syncopation with the backbeat, and then we're bringing it in. But then there's all those synchronized parts. There's the stabs, and then there's the pushes at the beginning of every bars, which you love doing. You're friggin' Mr. Pushmeister.
Motif, mate. Motif.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It's a good motive and it works. And like just to kind of push ahead of the one, that's a nice thing. And that's all. But that's the fun of it. The fun of four of you blatting that out through a bunch of nice loud amps with.
I think the gang vocal as well, even though it's just you and I, that's fun and simple. Glad I'm dead.
Glad I'm dead.
Glad I'm dead. Yeah, that's fun.
It's a simple kind of slogan, right? So that makes it.
Stu doesn't like it, but
who's Stu? Oh, Stu on the internet. Oh man, I hope he stays with us.
Yeah, I do too.
So Stu is that guy who's like trolling us.
Yeah,
he's not even trolling us. I think he genuinely dislikes us.
Yeah, no, and I'm fine with that.
No, but he's so funny.
But yeah,
he just makes me laugh every time I see one of his negative
it's just
comments.
He took time to write something. That's sweet. It's
did.
really nice.
I mean, he took time to write how much he detests it.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's kind
which I think really means he likes it.
Well, he doesn't. He always responds to a reply, doesn't he? He stays engaged.
True. Yeah, he does.
And social media is about engagement.
Yeah, yeah.
So something's going right or wrong.
Yeah, yeah.
But he might be.
Maybe we should talk to him about politics. I think he might like that.
He looks like the kind of guy who might be outraged quite easily.
Yeah.
Because he's certainly outraged by our music.
Yeah, he is. And, bless you. Thanks, Stu. Leave us a comment. No, do leave us a comment.
You probably will leave us a comment. It will probably be shitting all over us right now.
Yeah, and that's fine. As long as someone's talking.
But actually, I do find him quite funny. And I hope he sticks around. I hope he doesn't kind of like...
Yeah. He thinks about his replies. It's not just...
No, it's not
he could just write shit. But no, he just writes...
This is shit.
This is shit, yeah. Which is sweet.
Which is more thoughtful.
Yeah, yeah. It's good that he's pushing his boundaries.
Yeah. But he doesn't.
Guess if he wasn't doing that, he'd be fucking young children, wouldn't he? Yeah. Yeah, probably, I'd imagine.
Probably.
Yeah. He's a bit of a... Yeah. He lives in Kent. That's the other thing.
Yeah. We can't vet everyone.
Shout out to all the Kent crew.
This might not make it in.
Probably not. I
Anyway.
was like, fuck, how does he have the time to do that?
What was his last one? His last one was actually really funny.
Oh, I wish I was dead or something.
Yeah, no. But did you see the response to it? So he put...
I wish I something about Nazi.
Yeah, but he started with saying, I would rather be dead than listen to this.
Yeah.
And then I replied saying, hey, Stu Bo, hang in there, we'll always be there for you. And he went, I'd rather be counselled by Hitler.
Yeah.
I think it's that's a lovely. Very reasonably he put disdain in there. And he said something relatively witty. I mean, I've heard wittier things, but Stu, if you're out there, stay with us. I don't care if it's shit. It's good. Make awful comments. It's good value at the moment.
Yeah, it is. You can always delete them. But so
back to the track.
So where are we at? Glad I'm dead.
You were saying you particularly liked playing it now. It was fun for you.
Yeah, really fun. And I think just with the four of us, it's got even more powerful. I feel that that's I don't know. It's made the track grow a bit, and for me, it's just catchy as fuck and simple. And I like things that are simple.
It is simple. It's good. It's a kind of good slogan. It would make a great T-shirt.
It would.
Coming soon to the full store.
Yeah.
Awake the Lion.
Yeah. That's when we found sound effects in it.
We certainly found... That's a good point, actually. We found sound effects.
Yeah.
So we weren't just doing a standard... We were doing a standard... I suppose the whole idea with that was... The thing... I remember wanting to do something with that tritone. So it's got the E, the G, and then the B flat, a classic kind of rock, heavy metal kind of tritone thing to go to. and it's just got that repeated da 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 da. And the thing I like about it is you decided to play a pattern that didn't just go da 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 or da 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 da. You kind of put the backbeat away, and you just da 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 da.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah. I think we had a moment.
But it's nice. It's kind of unconventional because you're playing a rhythm without a backbeat. And it suits it. And then you do over da 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 2 bar measure, which makes it really nice. And then it's just like a pummeling looping riff, right? And then you're right. We found sound effects, and I think that's when we went from being really simple to actually becoming quite intricate and complex. In what way?
In our setup. Do you know what I mean? Like, oh shit, we've got to play this live. Oh, now this requires triggering and all that shit.
Yeah, I mean,
we were really raw until that point, and then we were kind of doing a standard rock thing. Prince is coming in a little bit. You know, some of those other influences that are a bit more produced. Yeah. So that was it. So with production, it was kind of like, okay, if we're layering sound effects on there, and again, it was an extension of that kind of spirit we got with these kind of that writing session, which was if we were making each other laugh, we were like, yep, let's do it. Keep it. And the whole idea with the Wait the Line, maybe it was like, let's have a jungle noise at the beginning because we're in the jungle. And then we were like, oh shit, cheetah or jaguar.
Yeah, I think that was it. It was kind of like when we started sampling and just putting these little kind of like leopard. There was a leopard sample.
It was a leopard, that was it, yeah.
And then there was kind of like, we were putting these kind of animal noises in there.
Yeah.
And it was kind of like, actually, it might have started with a conversation. We just thought,
it would have done.
That'd be funny.
It would have done.
And then all of a sudden we were doing it, and it was kind of like, no, this is going in the track.
Yeah.
And then I suppose I can't remember whether lyrically it started with the samples or whether lyrically there was a theme there, but the whole thing has a jungle theme.
Yeah.
And it's a very basic kind of premise with the lyrics, which is kind of like the whole Jungle Book. I suppose there's an allegory for society without being in any way intelligent. Like, you know, like you
find it quite easy to do that.
I always go for a lack of intelligence. There's a threshold for intelligence, and I always just shoot underneath it and hit it frequently.
Yeah.
But like it was kind of like an allegory for society, and I suppose all the imagery and kind of lyrical figurative stuff that's going on there is the jungle, and just various different animals and ideas of those acting in various different classes and strata.
See video. Yeah.
Video coming soon.
Yeah.
Depending on when you're watching this, but more than likely at the beginning.
It's probably coming now.
It's probably coming a bit later than now. But depending on when you're watching this, it will be the video kind of... I suppose that's
Jamie's working on it, right?
The video is an extrapolation of that. So I suppose this kind of the jungle world, using it as a kind of a metaphor for society, and then just talking about society in terms of classes, and then the idea of kind of like a kind of against the like a ruling class, and a kind of like us against the ruling class. Like I said, there's no intelligence in this. This is literally like the thought bubbles of like a sixth former.
Yeah.
Like and then but then the energy kind of matches the kind of rage of the track. And then so that's essentially what's going on in terms of, in like the narrative that's going on in the track, right? And I suppose Awake the Line was kind of like a metaphor for, like, you know, uprising and going against.
That's the way I see it.
And so it's interesting.
And it's got that kind of, sorry to butt in there, but I do feel this is important to say. It's got that kind of marching, pounding kind of like.
It's got
tempo and force behind it that reinforces the fact that that's what it's about.
That's
right?
probably what that 4/4 on the kick probably is better for, the track, because it's dun 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 dun. It's kind of driving, right?
Yeah, and the snare pattern and all that stuff is so out of kilter anyway. You need that driving.
Yeah.
But it's good.
It's
it works.
cool. That driving nature kind of sets the attitude of kind of spirit of kind of, a beat, that's a spirited beat that kind of acts as a kind of, something.
Cut that bit out, I reckon.
No, I'm leaving that in. I think something sums it up nicely. And then, that middle section lyrically in the jungle, the beats a drum beat, and that drum beat should never slow.
Yeah.
If the drummer starts slipping, the beats are going missing, and the beats begin to roar.
Rah.
Lion sample, no, leopard sample. Then.
Yeah.
But like so all of it becomes an allegory for that kind of uprising set in the jungle. Jungle vibes.
Yeah.
So I like it. It's cool.
I'm pleased with it. Really pleased with it.
And it's unsophisticated. There's no like it's a surface level allegory that you can put into what you want with it, because there's no real sophisticated thought on it, and it's not like a roadmap.
That goes for the whole record, I guess.
It's not a roadmap on how like we move society forward. That's not going to come from me or Greg.
No. That comes from Dali and Roland.
Yeah, and they don't speak a lot.
No.
So don't expect it anytime soon.
Yeah, so finally, Track of Dreams.
The Track of Dreams.
We're talking about terrible dreams.
Are we talking about motorcycle?
Yeah, we're talking about motorcycle. The riff to end all riffs, if you ask me.
I know where that riff came from.
I'd be chugging down if I was over there, but unfortunately, got cameras in between.
Chugging down somewhere.
On a motorcycle.
That's what the track's about. You chugging down on a motorcycle.
That's right, yeah.
You probably don't know that. That's lyrically what it was.
Biker, anyway. Yeah.
What was it about motorcycle? Oh, it started with a riff. I know the two things that kicked it off, right? There's the riff and then there's the lyrics, right? Obviously. But like I know where they both started off. The riff was you playing on a warm-up in when we were playing with Iron Kings, our old band. You came into the studio. At that time, we were in my studio in Fulham.
Fulham, yeah.
And then you came in, you were having a warm-up. They were the days when you used to come in and go, I'm just going to play for fun. And you used to go in and just blat out your drums.
God, this time when I had free.
We were young.
Come on. Hell. It was beautiful.
You were free. You had no obligations.
Yeah.
You weren't saving the world.
Yeah.
And then like you went in and you were playing this, you were just playing. And then I remember having this is how long ago it was. I had a little my mum's DV video camcorder, right? Mini DV.
Yeah, mini DV, yeah. Sure.
And I remember walking in with it recording, and you were playing away, and then you kind of saw me, and then you got a little bit shy, but you kept the tempo up, and you started playing dun 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 dun.
Yeah.
But this is what I recorded, right? But then I just remember that's the riff for motorcycle, because it's going to go dun 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 dun. And then I thought I'll drop it down because it'll probably sound better dropped. And I dropped it down to a D. And I didn't know at the time people were dropping down to C. That's how unfashionable I was. I was like, wait until everyone hears this, drop D. So I dropped it down to a D, and I was like, okay, I've got this riff. So the next time round, it wasn't on that session, but the next time we were having the writing session, it was like, motorcycle, this came from the riff idea of you playing the drums. You were like, what was that? I was like, you were playing this, and I started playing it, and you were like, yeah, okay, cool. And every time you jumped in, you kept jumping in the wrong place, and I was like, "What the fuck are you doing?"
By the way, this is classic of our writing.
This is
together.
Exactly how we write together, because it's
He's usually half a bar ahead of where I am.
It's constant mistakes. One of us has got a riff or a lick, and the other one misinterprets where the one is, and that was what happened with motorcycle, because you weren't playing dun 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 dun. dun 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 dun. You were actually playing dun 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 dun. You were playing dun 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 dun.
Yeah, that's totally it.
And then
I still hear that and go, yeah, that's right.
You still think motorcycles wrong, right?
But
that was the thing.
To reprogram my mind.
So that was that, and then we probably had to have like a half-hour discussion about it because you and I are all for that with timekeeping.
Yeah.
And then we figured it out, and then we settled on the riff that became motorcycle, which is what it is now. So that was the riff of motorcycle.
Yeah, but then there's two riffs really. Yeah.
Yeah, and then so because we got into the pattern of switch upping, right? And we got into the pattern of kind of understanding where the limbs would take place. I've got a real feeling that we chronologically, the way they appear on the EP is kind of how we chronologically wrote
more
them.
than likely.
So,
which makes sense. It does make sense.
It certainly makes it easier to track list because I always hate doing that.
Yeah.
But then the other aspect of the song was lyrically what was going on with it. And I just remember driving once, and I just remember around that period, and perhaps I had the riff going on in my head, but I just remember driving and I had that I want to see you on, which is kind of like a first, third, fifth major. And then I literally, some dude drove past on the motorcycle, and I literally went, I want to see you on my motorcycle. That was it. And I was kind of like,
holy fuck.
What a strange thing to say.
I didn't know that story.
That was how it happened. And then this was the thing. It was like, because we have that culture of kind of like amusing each other. And when we amuse each other, it tends to be kind of like a signpost for let's go that way.
Yeah, for sure.
But
you got to go with it. Whenever something funny happens like that.
Yeah.
You got to go with it.
So I think that kind of amused me, and because we'd set the standard of when we're amused by something, we will go there. So that was literally where we started going with the story of the motorcycle. And
I still in my head can see the video for that of like some dude on a motorbike and just like crazy shit going past his head, like all these different colours. I don't know.
If you're
Roland Rat.
If you're out there and you can do the video for motorcycle, please get in touch.
Please do. Roland Rat on a motorbike with like all these pink colours flying past his head.
Pink colours?
Yeah, I don't know what it is. Just him sitting there.
It could work. I was actually quite gutted when Kanye done that track with, I can't remember what it was, but he was on the motorcycle with Kim Kardashian. She had her boobs out. Can you remember that?
No.
And her nipples were just out of shot.
Oh, really?
But she was just lying as he was riding his motorcycle. It was perfect. It was a motorcycle.
Really? Right, okay.
But, funny, Kanye, who incidentally this is actually factually a true story. Kanye was asked to rap on motorcycle. Not explicitly. Kanye was introduced by business card to me. Kanye has my email address and has it in a pocket of some jacket.
He's keeping it somewhere really safe that
he
one
probably
day
discarded it somewhere. But he was given that, and it was done on the conversation of, can we get Kanye on motorcycle? So that is a true story.
Yeah.
He hasn't called yet.
No, I mean, we're still waiting for his call. Have you changed your phone number or something? There's got to be a good reason for why.
It was an email. It's an email, and it's still my old email address. So, it might happen.
Sure. Yeah, no, it's possible.
But that is a true story, and we'll say that for a podcast because that's a very good story.
No, that is a really good story. That's podcast worthy.
That is podcast worthy, actually. That's exactly the kind of shit we need to do. So, any other thing you want to say about motorcycle?
I mean, for me, the fantastic bit, I have to talk about it, is the choir.
Woes. Go.
Which is,
what are your thoughts on the choir?
I mean, that's a standout moment of that track. That was more audaciousness.
Yes.
Which again, just like, sounds massive as well.
I suppose the idea of the choir was I think we'd given ourselves permission to kind of enjoy the production as well. It's kind of like if we can imagine something big,
and
we'll
let's
just do
make
that
it
as well.
Yeah.
So the idea was this very gothic choir, like middle operatic section, right? And then I suppose like a reference was the O Fortuna,
yeah,
the kind of classic thing. And then because we'd have the tempo and everything set, it was literally a case of like just deciding how long that middle section was, right? And then it was kind of like if we have a gothic choir in this section, it's going to be no.
And it just fits in really well with that vibe. I think that's ex Tomahawk stuff as well.
Yeah,
that you can see the connection there.
Tomahawk, Siren Owl, previous project.
Yeah.
I think it was nice. And I suppose like when we were producing that, what was useful about that? Well, it was nice when we were producing it because at the time I was working with Anna in the studio on her album, and then there was a discussion about us doing this section, and then obviously Anna's a great vocalist, so it was kind of like, will you help construct the choir sections, because the vocals on there are myself and Anna, and it's just shitloads of layers. But then the good thing about that was that I knew I wanted it to sound not only like a medieval choir, but like O Fortuna. I think that's all in Latin, right?
Yeah,
and then without being shit hot on Google back then and being able to translate everything into Latin, I thought the next best thing we could do is have like a European language.
Yeah, for sure.
And my initial idea was like German.
Yeah,
because I thought that would be quite gothic and that's kind of like a strong language.
Yeah.
And then Anna's father is Italian.
Yeah.
And it kind of mentioned, can he do something on it? Can he, can he come up with something? Or come up with some lyrical ideas, because we kind of knew the pattern, we knew kind of how long we needed the section. Then it was just about this 2-syllable kind of selection of words that will work for the middle section. And then it was great because she went and asked him, and I think he just really enjoyed it, and he was really creative, and he came back with a sheet of paper when Anna came back into the studio. And it was just loads of little kind of 2-syllable kind of
words. It's great. Tutti, frutti,
bella amore, and things like that.
Yeah.
So and there was just loads. He'd just done a list of them, and they were all really nice and poetic, and like there was a translation in each one.
Yeah.
So, and he just got the brief of like what we needed, and then so it was just a case of like me reassembling all of that, and thankfully it's such a lovely language, Italian. There was a lot of it we were able to rhyme it, and like I was able to rhyme it every other couplet or something. And it just worked out that we had enough in there to string together that middle section. And then I think it was just one session with Anna. We just done like shitloads of tracks and then stuck loads of spring reverb on it, and hey presto, we had a gothic choir. Which we finish off with that pummeling riff, which is just delicious.
Yeah. And I think, well, that's the thing. We needn't go on too much longer about Motorcycle, I guess. But for me, getting that groove with Motorcycle, when we're having an off day, doesn't sing.
No.
Hard to play.
Motorcycle is a demanding track to play well. I agree. Because there are times when it's just like,
and we've recorded it maybe 4 or 5 times.
We have,
and the magic of the EP, the recording that you guys can buy now on the store, or will be able to,
or the track that's available to you.
Yeah, available to you as well. And we slammed it in the studio the other day in Walthamstow, but that is the best recording of it. I still think.
Well, the EP recording, you really enjoy that.
The original, yeah.
I suppose it's just that thing, when you strike out and do something the first time round, it's always kind of your favourite thing.
We've been chasing the Motorcycle dragon ever since.
We have. It's a nice dragon to chase.
Great.
Tasty.
Beautiful. Pretty beautiful.
It's a tasty dragon.
Low revving. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for listening.